Wait, what if these 3 US coins sitting right in front of you are worth far more than their face value? Here we have a $quarter, a 5 cents nickel, and a 1 dime, 3 coins that millions of people use without a second thought. But hidden among ordinary coins are rare varieties that have amazed collectors around the world. A special quarter could be worth enough to buy a luxury car, a rare nickel might help pay for a dream home, and an extraordinary dime could be worth thousands of dollars to the right collector. The secret is often found in tiny details, mint marks, dates, and minting errors that most people never notice. So before you ignore your old coins, take a closer look, because one of these 3 coins could be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Now, let's get started. First coin, $quarter United States of America coin 1998. In the world of coin collecting, some coins tell a story far greater than their face value. Today, we begin with a remarkable piece of American history, the 1998 United States $quarter. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary coin that millions of people carried in their pockets every day. But behind this small piece of metal lies a fascinating story that connects to one of the most ambitious coin programs ever launched in the United States. The year was 1998. America was approaching the end of the 20th century, and the United States Mint was preparing to introduce something that had never been done before. For decades, the familiar Washington quarter had remained mostly unchanged. People knew its design by heart, and it had become one of the most recognized coins in the nation. But in 1998, a new chapter was about to begin. This quarter was struck during a historic period when the U.S. Mint launched the famous 50-state quarters program. The goal was simple yet revolutionary: to celebrate the history, culture, and identity of every American state. Collectors across the country became excited as they realized that new quarter designs would soon appear in circulation. The obverse, or front side, of the 1998 quarter continued to feature the portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Washington's image had appeared on the quarter since 1932, honoring the 200th anniversary of his birth. His portrait became a symbol of leadership, independence, and the founding principles of America. While millions of quarters were produced in 1998, not all of them were exactly the same. Coins were struck at different mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver. Each mint left a small identifying mark on the coin. These tiny letters might seem insignificant, but collectors often examine them carefully because certain mint marks can influence a coin's desirability. As the state quarters program gained momentum, people from all walks of life began searching through their change. Children collected quarters in colorful maps. Families saved special coins in albums. Hobbyists spent hours looking for the newest releases. What started as a government coin program soon became a nationwide treasure hunt. One of the reasons the 1998 quarter remains interesting today is that collectors continue to search for unusual examples. During the minting process, small mistakes can occasionally occur. A coin may be struck slightly off-center, show doubling in parts of the design, or contain other manufacturing anomalies. While most quarters are worth only their face value, unusual error coins can attract significant attention from collectors. The story of the quarter is also the story of everyday America. This coin traveled through grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, and countless businesses. It passed from one hand to another, carrying with it a small piece of national history. Few people stopped to think about its journey, yet each coin witnessed thousands of ordinary moments in American life. Over time, many 1998 quarters became worn from circulation. Their details softened, and their surfaces developed signs of use. However, coins that remained in exceptional condition became especially attractive to collectors. A well-preserved example often tells the story of a coin that escaped years of heavy circulation and survived almost exactly as it left the mint. Today, the 1998 $quarter continues to hold a special place in the hearts of collectors. It represents the beginning of a program that inspired millions of people to become interested in coins. It transformed a simple pocket change denomination into an object of curiosity and excitement. So, the next time you see a 1998 $quarter, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, and the condition. Hidden within those small details is a story of American history, national pride, and one of the most successful coin collecting programs ever created. And who knows? Among thousands of ordinary quarters, there may still be a rare example waiting to be discovered by a sharp-eyed collector. Now, let's move to the next coin. Second coin, 5-cent United States of America coin 2012 D mid-mark. Some coins pass through millions of hands without anyone giving them a second look. Yet every once in a while, a simple coin reveals a story that stretches across centuries of American history. Today, our attention turns to the 2012 D 5-cent coin, better known as the Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it may appear to be an ordinary 5-cent piece. But hidden behind its familiar design is a remarkable journey filled with history, tradition, and the enduring legacy of one of America's most influential leaders. The story begins long before 2012. The nickel itself has been a part of American life for generations. Since 1938, the Jefferson nickel has carried the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. His vision helped shape the nation, and his image on the nickel serves as a reminder of that legacy. Fast forward to the year 2012. The United States Mint continued the tradition of producing Jefferson nickels for everyday circulation. Among these coins were pieces struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark. This tiny letter may seem insignificant, but for collectors, it instantly reveals where the coin was made. Every mint mark tells part of a coin's story, and the Denver Mint has played a major role in producing America's circulating coinage for more than a century. When people received a 2012 D nickel in their change, most never stopped to examine it closely. They saw only 5 cents. But collectors saw something more. They saw a piece of American craftsmanship, carefully struck with detailed designs that connect the present to the past. On the front of the coin is a modern portrait of Thomas Jefferson. This updated design reflects a strong and realistic image of the former president. Surrounding the portrait are inscriptions that have become familiar to generations of Americans. These words remind us of the values and principles that helped build the United States. Turning the coin over reveals one of the most recognizable buildings in American numismatics, Monticello. Located in Virginia, Monticello was Jefferson's home and one of his greatest architectural achievements. The image of Monticello has appeared on the reverse of the nickel for decades, becoming a symbol of American history and innovation. What makes the 2012 D nickel particularly interesting is not just its design, but the journey it takes through everyday life. Every coin begins as a blank piece of metal. Through a series of powerful minting machines, it is transformed into a finished coin bearing detailed images and inscriptions. From there, it enters circulation, traveling from banks to businesses and eventually into the pockets of ordinary people. Imagine the path of a single 2012 D nickel. It may have been used to buy a morning coffee, pay for a newspaper, or become part of a child's first coin collection. Over the years, it could have traveled across multiple states, changing hands hundreds or even thousands of times. Each transaction adds another chapter to its story. For collectors, the excitement often lies in the possibility of finding something unusual. Most 2012 D nickels are common, but occasionally a coin emerges with a striking error or unusual characteristic. A coin may display doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, or other minting anomalies. These rare mistakes can transform an ordinary nickel into a highly sought-after collectible. As time passes, fewer examples remain in pristine condition. Coins used daily become scratched, worn, and faded. However, some survive in exceptional shape, preserving the sharp details that were present when they first left the mint. These high-grade examples often attract the attention of collectors who appreciate both beauty and rarity. The Jefferson nickel also tells a larger story about America itself. Through economic changes, technological advances, and shifting generations, the nickel has remained a constant part of everyday commerce. It is one of the few objects that connects people from different eras in such a direct way. A grandparent and grandchild may have handled similar nickels decades apart, yet both experienced the same piece of history. One of the reasons coin collecting remains popular is because every coin carries a story waiting to be discovered. The 2012 D Jefferson nickel is a perfect example. While millions were produced, each individual coin has followed a unique path. Some remain tucked away in collections. Others continue to circulate quietly through the economy. And a select few may hold surprises that only a careful collector can uncover. Today, When you hold a 2012 D 5-cent coin, you are holding more than a piece of currency. You are holding a connection to Thomas Jefferson, to Monticello, to the Denver Mint, and to the countless people who have used similar coins throughout American history. Its value may be only 5 cents, but its story is worth far more. So before you overlook the next nickel you find, take a closer look. Examine the date, check the mint mark, study the details. Because hidden within this small coin is a fascinating journey through American history, craftsmanship, and everyday life. And perhaps, just perhaps, one extraordinary example is still waiting to be discovered by the collector who knows where to look. Now, let's move to the third coin. Third coin, 1 dime United States of America coin 1986 D mint mark. Sometimes the smallest objects carry the biggest stories. Among the countless coins that have passed through American hands over the decades, few are as overlooked as the humble dime. Small, lightweight, and often ignored, it rarely attracts attention. Yet the 1986 D1 dime holds a fascinating story that stretches across American history, craftsmanship, and the hidden world of coin collecting. Picture the year 1986. America was experiencing a period of change and innovation. Technology was advancing, businesses were growing, and millions of people went about their daily lives carrying coins in their pockets without ever imagining the stories those coins would someday tell. Deep inside the Denver Mint, powerful machines worked day and night, striking millions of dimes that would soon travel across the nation. Among those freshly minted coins was the 1986 D Roosevelt dime. The small, D, mint mark beneath the date quietly revealed its birthplace, Denver, Colorado. To most people, it was just a tiny letter. To collectors, it was an important clue, a mark that connected the coin to one of the most famous minting facilities in the United States. The Roosevelt dime itself carries a rich history. Since 1946, the dime has featured the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. His leadership during some of the most difficult years in American history left a lasting impact on the nation. After his passing, the United States chose to honor him by placing his image on the dime, creating a design that continues to this day. As the first 1986 D dimes rolled off the presses, they appeared flawless. Their surfaces shined brilliantly under the mint lights. Every detail was sharp and precise. At that moment, no one knew where each coin would end up. Some would travel only a few miles. Others would cross the entire country. One particular dime might have been placed in a bank shipment destined for a small town. Another may have found its way into a busy city cash register. A third could have been tucked away by a collector who recognized its potential from the very beginning. This is where the mystery of coin collecting begins. Every coin follows its own unique journey. Unlike paper money, coins can remain in circulation for decades. A 1986 D dime may have purchased a cup of coffee in the late 1980s, paid for a newspaper in the 1990s, and later become part of a collector's treasure box. Each exchange added another invisible chapter to its story. As years passed, many of these dimes became worn. Their brilliant surfaces faded. Small scratches appeared. The evidence of everyday life slowly accumulated. Yet some survived in remarkable condition. Protected from circulation, they preserved the sharp details and original luster they possessed on the day they were struck. For collectors, condition is everything. A common 1986 D dime in circulated condition may be worth only its face value. However, examples preserved in exceptional condition can attract much greater interest. Collectors carefully inspect every detail, searching for coins with strong strikes, clean surfaces, and original mint luster. But condition is only part of the excitement. The real thrill often comes from the hunt for mint errors. Throughout the history of coin production, mistakes occasionally occur. A die may shift slightly. A design element may appear doubled. A strike may be off-center. These unusual errors transform ordinary coins into fascinating collectibles. What appears insignificant to one person can become a prized discovery for another. This possibility keeps collectors searching year after year. Imagine opening an old jar of coins stored away for decades. Hidden among hundreds of ordinary pieces could be a 1986 D dime with an unusual characteristic. Most people would never notice it. A trained collector, however, might instantly recognize something special. That sense of discovery is one of the reasons coin collecting remains popular around the world. The reverse side of the Roosevelt dime also carries symbolic meaning. The torch represents liberty. The olive branch symbolizes peace. The oak branch stands for strength and independence. Together, these elements reflect values that have long been associated with the United States. As decades passed, the 1986 D dime continued its quiet journey through history. It witnessed changing fashions, evolving technology, and new generations growing up. Yet despite all these changes, the coin itself remained largely unchanged, a small metal time capsule connecting the present to the past. Today, when collectors examine a 1986 D Roosevelt dime, they see much more than 10 cents. They see a piece of American history. They see the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint. They see a coin that has survived nearly 4 decades and continues to tell its story. And perhaps most importantly, they see possibility. Because every coin collector knows that extraordinary discoveries often hide in the most ordinary places. A coin sitting unnoticed in a drawer, a jar, or an old collection may contain a detail that transforms it from everyday pocket change into something truly memorable. So the next time you come across a 1986 D1 dime, don't rush past it. Hold it carefully. Look at the date. Check the mint mark. Study the details. Imagine the countless hands it may have passed through in the decades of history it has witnessed. What seems like a simple dime today may actually be a silent survivor from another era, carrying a story that has been waiting nearly 40 years to be told. And with that, our journey through these 3 fascinating American coins comes to an end. Yet the adventure of coin collecting never truly ends. Every coin has a story. Every date hides a mystery. Every mint mark offers a clue. And somewhere out there, the next great discovery is still waiting for the collector who chooses to look a little closer.